Next up is the listener mailbag, and to send in a question, you can send it to k100questions@gmail.com. Some questions get read on the show every week, but every question is answered on Patreon at patreon.com/Conan and Conan.me.
The first one is from Renegade Man 83. Subject is Karrion Kross and Brian Cage being ready for the co-main event. Ready for the main event, excuse me. Hey guys, I just wanted to ask your thoughts on Brian Cage and Killer Kross so far in AEW and NXT, and do you think they're being rushed too soon in the main event? I like both these guys. They look like they're ready to have the makings to be future main eventers. What do you think? Who do you think will win the belt first from their respective companies they're wrestling for? I just hope Brian Cage stays as far away from Cody Rhodes as possible and does not enter a program with him, given his track record with Wardlow, Archer, and Shawn Spears.
Well, I think Cody Rhodes, they're doing like that, like they've always kind of booked. Because I remember one time, like they would book Hogan, they're just feeding him like all the monsters. They're just feeding everybody to him. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember one time Jerry Jarrett was telling me this. He was comparing Jeff Jarrett. Okay. First he used this terminology. He goes, yeah, you got to look at Jeff Jarrett as John Wayne. Think to myself, well, actually right now, Arnold Schwarzenegger is like the big star. If you wanted to go back a little bit, you could go to Sylvester Stallone, but John Wayne, really? But anyways, he was like, yeah, he's like John Wayne and, he's a dragon slayer and I gotta feed him dragons. So I think that's that old school, like Hogan mentality. Also, they're just feeding all these big guys to Cody. I don't see Brian taking that title off of him, but it would not be a bad idea because I think Brian looks great.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the same.
He gave, and I'll tell you another thing that I did like. I'm sorry, Joe.
No.
On the last AEW, I thought he gave what's this guy's name? Dean Ambrose a pretty good ass whooping, and then threw him into the windshield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say that seems to me like what they're doing with Moxley, making him the Dragon Slayer. They gave him Harper. He beat Harper. He's probably going to beat Brian Cage, and they're sending in all these big guys to make him a stronger and stronger champion. Probably just delaying it until they put Omega in there with him, or even Cody. So.
But going back to one of the questions, I think he asked who I thought would be the champion first. I think Kross will probably be a champion before Cage.
Yeah, and if they're pushing him too fast.
Yeah, I'll be honest too.
No, they're not pushing him too fast.
So. Right.
I'm going to disagree with that.
All right.
I'm going to disagree with that.
Go ahead.
So first of all, I like Cage, but you know what? I like Cage when he first put on size, like when in his first incarnation of the Machine, right? Because this is the problem I have with his work now. Is instead of being just the Terminator and being a killer and being a machine, I think he engages too much in the acrobatics and too much of the high spots that the guys do. Like he, you know what I'm saying? Is like he should be standing tall, having guys running around him and knocking people down and stuff like that. But he does too many of these like high spots and slapping the leg and so just too much of that in what should be a persona of a guy that's just killing people out there. Did you agree with that, Conan, a little bit?
Yeah, I would agree with that. But here's what I think about Brian Cage. So when I first met Brian Cage, he had just been cut by WWE, and he did a tryout with Eli Drake. Mm-hmm. His name was Sean Richter or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
So they were a tag team, but he wasn't built yet. He just had a nice physique. He had a nice physique, good looking guy. And I think that when he started to get bigger, I think part of the thing that got him over was like, wow, here's a big guy that does cool shit. And that was kind of like his moniker. You know what I'm saying? Because even when I first saw him, I was like, holy shit, this guy's incredible. For his size, he's doing that. Even though he doesn't need to, he could just do, big guy stuff. But he wanted to be different. And that mentality's kind of stayed with him. But I just think physically, he looks super impressive. He looks like a star. You know what I'm saying? And he can go. But he does do too much of the leg slapping and all that, which is not necessary.
And he takes risks too. I mean, one example is he took that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he's like
he takes big risks. He didn't give a fuck.
He looks like the guy that should be putting his opponent at risk, not himself.
Right.
Bro, you know what he did? Listen to this. So there's no way. Like I always tell wrestlers, and this is for the. I know we have a lot of young wrestlers into the show. Bro, if you're going to do a dive outside or something dangerous, better better. Do it with people that you've done it with before and you know are going to catch you. Okay. So he goes to TJ and he meets these two wrestlers. First time he's ever wrestled with them. Okay. And he does a moonsault off the top rope to the outside. It looks super impressive. And these guys didn't catch him. And he fucking landed on his knees and almost fucking ended his career.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, this is a fucking house show. And but it was packed, but he wanted to go out there and like show, look, even though I'm big, I can still do cool shit. You know what I'm saying?
The one I was referencing was when he took that Spanish fly from Johnny Morrison off the ramp onto the fucking floor on that Impact pay-per-view. And I remember at the time going, jeez, and he broke his tailbone.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Let me finish my rant here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to disagree with it. It's not too soon to make him the champion, because the one thing that I've seen over the past 15 years or however long it's been is when you do push somebody to the top too soon, it never really ends up well. And I think what I like better is like a character going through a few people in a few angles, like the rise of the character, like the rise of Stone Cold, the rise of The Rock. You build yourself up. So like what I'm saying is so right now it looks like because Cross is so impressive, they're putting him in the title picture. But to me, it's like, okay, you beat Johnny, or you know what it means? It's like selective booking. It's like you beat Ciampa. It's like, okay, like it was impressive, yeah, but like there's a lot of other guys in the roster that are in your way first. And I would rather see him in an angle with that guy for 4 to 6 weeks, beat him, and to the point where it's like the rise of the character, the strength of when he's fighting for that title makes it that much more impressive.
Right.
And that would mean that much more,
And I would do that in the majority of the times that I would be booking, but I also don't have any problem with right off the bat going, this is our guy, because Kevin can handle that right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
He's got a different aura. He's the best promo in the business. He's got a fucking great look with the chick with fucking Scarlett. I mean, and they obviously believe in him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To push him like that quick. They see what we saw in him.
Right. Like I said, I don't mind it. I just would rather see a character brought from.
And here's me too, and I agree. And here's another thing, every now and then it's always good to have that Goldberg, Kevin Cross, I don't know, holy shit, that guy that just fucking breaks from the pack, and I'm also glad because he's working with Hunter and Jeremy Borash and all them, and they know what the fuck they're doing over there.
Right.